The NBPA to appeal the suspension from Brooklyn, the terms, etc., that went into his return, the terms for his return, they seem like a lot, and a lot of players express discomfort with those terms. Okay. Tim, good morning. Thank you for being with us. I'll get to you in just a second. Stephen A., your thoughts on this potential appeal?
I 1,000% agree with Jaylen Brown. I stand with him. And I know that's saying a lot because we know how critical I can be and have been of Kyrie Irving. But this is excessive. The fact of the matter is that right now you're engaging in emasculation based on the reports about how the Nets have a checklist of things that they need Kyrie Irving to do. Okay, now be clear, Tim Legler. He brought it on himself. I'm fully knowledgeable about that. Him putting out a tweet, supporting a film with anti-Semitic tropes and stuff like that was inexcusable. It was insensitive. It was juvenile. It was stupid. Okay? And the kind of heat that he's brought upon himself thus far is self-inflicted and largely, if not entirely, of his own volition. So he deserves it. But now you're going a step too far. Okay? The man apologized. All right? He's been suspended. And that. Now you as an organization have to make, do you want, okay, the man apologized, all right? He's been suspended. And that. Now you as an organization have to make, do you want him on your team? Do you keep him on the rest of the year? Or you can elect to let him go while making him sit home and you have to pay him unless you trade him. It's that simple. But to sit up there and to have these lists of conditions that he has to do, I think what you're trying to do is elevate the level of embarrassment that is being thrown in his direction and, dare I say, emasculate him, which is why Jaylen Brown has spoken up, which is why black people are going to raise holy hell about that, and which is why I'm going to be one of those folks leading the chorus to raise holy hell about that. Leave a man alone. Keep him on a team or let him go. Suspend him, bring him back. But when you start talking about, well, he needs training and all of that, wait a minute now. The fact of the matter is he apologized. He acknowledged, albeit a bit too late as far as I'm concerned, he still apologized, acknowledged that he's not anti-Semitic, okay, that he made a mistake in putting the film out there. Okay, of course, when the owner reaches out to you, you should respect this man that's paying you and reach back out to him. Of course, Joe Tsai should demand, we have to meet and have a conversation before I let you back on his team. That is reasonable. That is understandable. But to then try to articulate that he needs to go through sensitivity training and all of this other stuff, now you really digging it in. It's unnecessary. It's uncalled for. If the Anti-Defamation League wants to raise holy hell about that and they want that and they request that of Kyrie Irving, that's between them and Kyrie Irving. Last time I recall, Joe Tsai is not Jewish. Joe Tsai is an owner for the Brooklyn Nets. You want him on the team or you don't. But to sit there and highlight and articulate these processes that he must go through, it seems to be a bit pouring on. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. It's a bit excessive. And that's what I wanted to say about it. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, all right, well, first, listen, there's a lot of layers to this story, right? So let's start with the Jaylen Brown comments. I completely agree with you, Stephen A. When you look at the list of things that the Nets are asking him to do, there is no question that they are trying to now really stick it to Kyrie and make sure that there are so many conditions to it that, like you said, you're basically asking him to completely capitulate to the organization, right? That's what they're asking him to do. And look, make no mistake about it, I expect there to be an appeal because that's their job, right? The NBPA represents the players. It's their client. It's no different than like a criminal defense attorney. You're going to defend your client. That's what the NBPA should do. In almost every case, they're going to appeal it. So that's nothing crazy. And some people are criticizing the NBPA for taking that stance. I don't. That's their client. That's who they represent. They're going to do everything they can to try to mitigate what the Nets are asking Kyrie Irving to do. Having said all of that, I think the only reason Kyrie Irving is in this position that they're asking so many things is because of his reaction to Joe Tsai. Joe Tsai's the top of the food chain in the organization, and I think if Kyrie Irving has a major problem in how he handled this, it's because he did not give that man the respect he deserves. If he had handled that in the beginning, I do not think the Nets would be asking all of these conditions of Kyrie Irving. So you point out he brought it on himself. We both agree on that. We both also agree on this is a little bit extensive, what they're asking him to do, but he could have avoided it if he had just communicated with the owner. That's the guy that cuts the checks. And Kyrie Irving, I think, does not want to be accountable to anybody. Sometimes when you have wealth, you've got notoriety, you've got fame, you think you're not accountable to anybody. Well, that's not the way it works when you are in an organization. There's a hierarchy there, and he has to answer to that man. And if he had just communicated with him, I think he could have avoided a lot of this. But now it's taken a turn, and we're going to see this is really a giant game of chicken. And they're trying to get Kyrie Irving to cave on this. And let's see how far he is willing to take this and how long he is willing to sit out, trying to make sure he does not do the things that the Nets are asking him to do. But I think he could have avoided it if he hadn't disrespected Joe Tsai. So that's the other layer to this. It's their relationship and the disrespect that he showed the owner. And I think that's really what this is about on the part of the Nets. I think he could have gotten away with the apology that he issued and get back to playing basketball. But the fact that he didn't do a verbal apology and he did not communicate with the owner and repeatedly ignored him over a period of days has put him in this position now where they're going to make him extra accountable to the organization. And I really think that's what